Can you go into a little bit of how you realized and the concept you realized to help let go in your life, to forgive also, I think, is a part of letting go, and why that's so important?
Yes. And I'll use an example that will help others because it's a frequent topic that comes up to me. I have had relationships with men that were romantic and with women that were friendships. And they have both unraveled into unhealthy relationships at certain points in time. For the men, for anyone who is struggling right now in a relationship, there were certain people that I held on to so tightly that were not meant to be for me, and vice versa. Whether I wanted that or not was out of my control. And the more I held on to it with this belief system that it was supposed to work out or be, I think is a societal norm that we have to break free from altogether. We tend to think that there is only one person, the one, this fucking idea of somebody being your soulmate. Do you think that my parents from other sides of the world, they met in Japan at a Buddhist temple, like at a giant Buddha Kamakura? I mean, that is so by chance. If we change our belief systems, I think we can come to terms with there are multiple people that could be your partner. There are multiple times in your life that you could fall in love with different people, and it's okay. And as somebody who did date a lot from the time I was in my teens till I was, I found my current partner at like 38. I think it's like, we've got to come to reality and update societal norms a little bit more so that people don't go out and get married at 20 and then hate their life for 20 years. And I'm saying this just as a realist, somebody who's experienced it all. I've been in 9 weddings as a bridesmaid or a maid of honor. I've seen a lot of shit. I mean, I wrote for Cosmo and Women's Health and Shape, and sometimes I'd get asked about relationship stuff. And I feel like we need to become more updated when it comes to relationships, and letting go is an easy tool and resource. Maybe you're holding on to an old idea or an old belief system that no longer works for you. And the sooner you realize this, the easier it's going to be to let go of this person who may be wonderful. They may also be a piece of shit. Like, I've done it all. And I'm proud of it too. I don't have any shame in anything I've done in my life. And I've done everything. And I just think we need more voices where people are a little bit more honest about modern day dating and modern day norms. And let's just break that altogether sometimes, because we know that Gen Z doesn't want to do what our parents did, and as they shouldn't, even though I just convinced my parents to change to YouTube TV, which was like a miracle.
I was going to say that is a big one. That is, congrats, Candice, because I don't think I would ever get that from my parents.
It was right before Miranda's party. It was the day before it, or actually I visited them and I was like, YouTube TV is a great deal compared to cable.
Well, you got them on the deal then. They're probably like, we don't care about anything else. You're saying we can still watch things and save. And
there you go. It was telephone, cable, and internet. I think the all-in-one was like $200. And I said, well, if you do YouTube TV separately, it'll save you like $30 a month.
Oh, they're like savings? Yes.
Oh, sad. Yeah.
Yes. They get that. The power of a single dollar saved is like tremendous.
It was fabulous. People can change, you see? And
they can.
The second part that I hear all the time, and this is still something I struggle with to this day, which I want women and girls to know. Okay, so not every girl friendship is supposed to be forever. I mean, I don't know how guys are. I think men are a little bit more simple with relationships. But women are really complex. I mean, there are layers and layers of jealousy and really just dishonesty when it comes to women friendships, where there are people that I'm sure there are tons of people who have talked behind my back while we've been friends. But what I don't think a lot of them have personally admitted is that they were unhappy with their own life. And therefore they projected that onto me, somebody who went out and lived wild and free. and chose this path for myself. Like, I didn't want to get married young. I didn't want to have kids young. I always knew that about myself. I was always a wild kid, and don't you dare try to hold me back. I mean, that was like something that I fought my whole life for, was freedom. So I think women need to come to the realization that if they're friends with somebody who is miserable, who doesn't act in kindness in their own friendship, they need to learn to set a boundary and let go. And I do talk about that quite a bit in the book too, because I think women need to get like permission for some reason to say goodbye to an old friend, or maybe it's a new friend. But as soon as it feels toxic and you're not feeling good, honey, let go. And you don't need permission from anyone.
No. The two things you mentioned there in relationship, friendships, both relationship based in a sense, but these idea of norms, of things you must or shouldn't do. It's like, it's just got to come from here, your heart. Like, you got to tap in here and be like, is this right for me? Even if the norms change, it's like, you are not the norm, I hope. Like, no one is, in a sense. We're all so unique, so different. And that idea, like, sometimes we stick in things just to, be a part of something, or be, we can't be afraid to step in to our truth, even if it does hurt at first, right? Change is painful. And I feel like people just stay there in paralysis and don't change. That's unhealthy. That's stagnation. Stagnation is death.
That is such a beautiful point, Casper. People have to realize that sometimes you don't want to break up, right? Because it's so painful and you're like, fuck. I actually know somebody from my 20s that said they didn't want to break up with somebody because this was not my friend. It was my ex-partner's friend. He said that they had like a Blockbuster account they shared. And I was like, what the fuck? Like
I'm miserable, but there's Blockbuster for free.
But that was like so unbelievable to me at the time. I was like, what? It was just like, sorry to say this is totally off subject, but on Top Chef at 22, I knew that being an asshole on TV was a bad idea. Could not fucking believe how many people that were way older than me and way more like established. Wow. Did they not give a fuck about looking like an asshole on TV? Mind blowing to me. The things that people say and do and believe, this is no judgment. Everybody should come as they are and do what they want. But I do think that a lot of people stay in bad relationships, or they don't know how to end it because it is so hard to do, whether it is the girlfriendships or the guy and like relationships in love or friendship, either one. And sometimes it's a work relationship too. Like, you don't want to leave your job because you want the money and you feel trapped. As soon as you feel trapped, my friend, that is when you have to listen to the body and the heart, like Casper said. Like, this doesn't lie. Your mind probably plays all kinds of Jedi shit on you. Yeah. But I always say, I know the human heart can also be dumb, because you can fall in love with just about anyone. But I truly believe that your intuition and your inner, like, say something, your body rejects something, you'll know. And it would be easy and I would be gentle. And just like Casper said, it is going to hurt so bad. I hurt so badly over an old friend group. It was probably the worst pain I had in a long time. And it lingered for years because I held on to the idea that we should be friends forever because my mother told me that. And it was not true. Mm-hmm. It was not true. And I want people to know that you don't have to believe everything that your mom told you, even though she was right 99.9% of the time. That one little thing about being friends with your college friends forever, unfortunately for me, it was not true because I outgrew a lot of people in different ways. It doesn't mean that their life or my life is any better than the other at all. It simply means we're like on different paths, going on a different trajectory in life. And I love them. I wish them the very best. And I forgive everyone, including myself, for being a bad person during that process. And I think if we can learn to forgive those who have wronged us and have hurt us, I mean, I can't even count how many men I feel like I've been crushed by, but I'm grateful for each of them because they taught me a lesson.